All right, guys. So let me get rid of this. So I'm going to do something a little bit different. Onboarding an MVNO using AI. So instead of presenting it to you as a set of slides, which is how I started it, I'm actually going to show you, okay? And the reason I want to show you is because I feel one of the great things about the industry of MVNOs is our ability to come together as community and our ability to disrupt, okay? So my ask is I show you and you give me feedback. Doesn't have to be after this media forum, but we can talk later. And I think that's one of the key things, especially if we look at how the industry is changing. Karim, we've never met, and you mentioned 3 things which very well validates what I'm about to show you. So you did a great job, and the fact we never met, you introduced some of the things I'm going to show. Appreciate that, my friend. So let's make a start. So when we started this kind of AI journey, we really wanted to take a step back. We really wanted to think about how we would approach it. So this is kind of our experience in our journey. So first we adapt, that's the kind of initial learning phase. And then in each part of the kind of circles, you'll see there's a learning phase. So we started with the adaptation. I guess everybody in this room knows and uses ChatGPT or another form of it, right? So I think we're already well past that, but it will continue to evolve. As we adapt, we learn, we grow, we expand our knowledge and our capabilities in these areas. Karim mentioned a great use case, the one about the Child Protective Services, and we have something that MVNOs in the US doing things similar. And these things sound like science fiction, but they're actually real, okay? And I could talk about that more from my own experiences I do a lot of meditation. I use AI to help with that, so if you guys are interested, I could talk about that at a later point. And when we go from grow, we move to co-pilot, and that's really about collaborating between humans and AI, okay? So that's the collaboration phase of what we do. If you look, you guys have probably seen the robots from, the Optimus robots from, Tesla. I was lucky, I live in California, to manage to get to see one. It's very scary, but also very cool. So that's really about how we collaborate. If you can imagine, fast forward 2025, depending what happens to the election, of course, you can buy one for $30,000. Can you imagine that? Someone that does your dishes for $30,000. Not sure it's good value, but let's see. And then from that co-pilot, we're going to switch to autopilot, where essentially we operate independently with minimum human intervention. Okay, so this is kind of where we're heading towards. And then towards the end, we repeat. As things start to get automated, as we start to get less involved, we need to also look about how we interact. So we take that step back and we look about how we would interact when there's less intervention. I read this very interesting quote a couple of days ago, and the quote is essentially like, I don't want AI to do music or poetry or paintings. I want it to wash my dishes, clean my car. And that's kind of where we are right now. We do all these cool things in AI, but does it really add that much value to our lives? And I think we'll see that shift. So that's kind of the journey that we were on. And from that journey, we kind of felt that, how could we bring that? And how could we, pull it together? So what I would like to do is, and I'm saying strength in numbers, I think we're a great community. We disrupt. We change things. I think the MNOs have some degree of fear for MVNOs. In fact, they can bring innovation. They can bring, value to customers much more quickly than they can. So our strength is in the numbers. So let's collaborate together and let's, share our experiences. And what I'm planning to do right now is something, if my mouse will work. I'm planning to onboard. There we go. There we see. There we go. I'm planning to do a very quick onboarding experience. So what you're seeing here is I'm going to onboard MVNO Nation as an MVNO. This is what I'm planning to do. Okay. So instead of talking about AI, I'm going to show you how we do it. Okay. So what you're seeing here is essentially, and Karim mentioned it too, is this MVNE concept, right? You're an MVNE, you can onboard multiple digital brands or multiple MVNOs. It would depend on how you want to play it. So what essentially you're looking at here is what I like to call, if you guys are into Formula One, imagine you're in the cockpit sitting behind, watching it all go by, right? I was lucky also in Vegas to see that. The whole cockpit experience. That's what we're trying to bring here. This idea of a real-time snapshot, so you know how your business is running, you know what's happening within your business, and you're able to react when you see trends and changes and things happening. So this is essentially what that kind of quick dashboard would look like. This is not really the interesting part. This is just a dashboard. It's a real-time view of what's happening. The interesting part is when we start to do the onboarding. So if you'll see here, we have a thing called brands. So essentially here, you're able to create a brand. I did pre-create the brand in Blue Peter style beforehand, so we can switch to the actual AI part. This isn't really AI. This is kind of more like Terraform or kind of DevOps framework. But essentially what you're seeing here is the ability to create a brand. I'm just going to quickly show you so you can kind of get a feel for it before I switch to the actual MVNO onboarding. So what can you do? You can put your domain name. Okay, you can put your brand's commercial name, you can write your brand description, you can select a type of industry, and again, Karim mentioned the types of industries that we were talking about prior, and here you're looking at things like telco, finance, you mentioned things like eSIM, Revolut is a bank selling eSIMs. And I've got some very interesting partnerships in the US happening right now where we go beyond that. So instead of selling, a banking selling an eSIM, we also have insurance as a service. So you can package your travel insurance along with your eSIM, which is kind of cool. And again, that works with real-time looking at where you are, and it will propose to you the best insurance option depending on the country you're traveling to, which is, again, kind of cool. All technology that's been enabled because of our innovations towards AI. And then, obviously, you specify the title, and the bottom boxes below are essentially, are you a light MVNO, are you an influencer, or a full independent MVNO? So think light MVNO as I have a brand, I'm an MVNE, and I only want to sell these 3 plans to that particular MVNO and these 3 plans to that other MVNO. So the light MVNO concept enables that. So essentially, when you onboard a light MVNO, the products and services they get are the products and services that the MVNE says that they'll get, okay? So we've gone past that. So what I'd like to show you is the overall experience. So I've created the brand. You'll see there, it's called MVNO Nation Demo. And essentially, you land on and you see the readiness. You'll see lots of errors. You don't have plans. You don't have any inventory. You haven't got a payment gateway. It's not configured. So what we do is we enable our journey, and we switch on our AI Wiz. You see it's already active, so I don't have to switch it on again. But essentially, we'd start that journey. Everything we do is journey-driven. So what we're trying to do is, again, Karim, you mentioned ODA, you mentioned things like that. It is all about openness. It is all about having connections which are open, certified, TM form. These things are opening the space to standardize things, and that gets us to already got us to the cloud, but it gets us AI innovation quicker. Okay, because essentially everything is standardized. It's no longer, Mark, can you give me your documentation of your interfaces? I'm like, look, go on the web. It's all there. It's all in the public domain. Please go check it. So it's a real big shift. It's also a big shift for Amdocs too. So if we just go back to the kind of the onboarding flow here, and we just start the process. And I'll say it's disabled. So okay, I'm just going to turn it on here. I'm going to switch it on the channel that I want, and I'm going to just update that. So essentially now, the AI wizard is now ready. It's onboarded, so let's kick it off. So this could be visually improved. I totally agree with that. But again, we innovate. We work in fail-fast organizations, so we get there eventually. We really want to get in our hands of our MVNEs and MVNOs. We really want to get to the point where we give them value quickly, okay? We also want to make sure they have great experiences, and that's also something which we will aim to do as well. So, which company do you want to operate? US. Because I'm from the US, so I pick US. It can be any country, of course. And what's your brand name? You'll see a pre kind of set that we have MVNO Nation as Community Mobile. This is the brand that we're going to be launching. Okay, that's great. It's going to ask, what type of industry? Telco, MVNO, finance, banking, utilities, power. We're branching into other things, right? If you're going to build a brand new platform, which is SaaS-based in a pay-as-you-go model, you're not just going to do telco, right? You're going to go beyond that. So we do other things as well. But the most matured one is the MVNO. The next thing it's going to ask is, so what's the typical operating model? A lot of MVNOs, and I've spoken to 30 prospect MVNOs this year in the US, and a lot of them go subscription-based, okay? So, essentially 3 gigs, $20 a month. Some still do postpaid. They're kind of more larger, bigger players in the think consumer cellular, think customers like Mint Mobile. which are some of the biggest MVNOs in the US, and then a pay in advance model, which is essentially kind of like your prepaid model, which is kind of targeted to the underserved communities. I'm going to pick subscription. Then it's going to ask currencies. It could have probably guessed that itself, but you never know. You might have multiple currencies, so we'll tick USA. Then a few sentences is asking me to describe the brand. Again, you could essentially say anything here. You could say, I want to have a brand that serves underserved communities. I want to have a brand that's specifically for international traveling, for eSIM. It can be essentially anything. I should tell you a funny story. I'll just select what I already pre-created. I demo this to a lot of customers. And it's the 5th of November today, the election's on. And I did a demonstration because one of my customers, like prospect customers said, let's onboard Trump Mobile. So what I'm about to show you is a little disclaimer. This will be generated by AI. You all know AI hallucinates, so don't get offended, okay? I don't think it will produce anything crazy, but it can happen, right? Because it's AI, it can do what it sometimes does what it wants to do. So here we're asking sample products and services. Of course, you're not going to launch these products and services to market, but what the product will do in the AI, it will actually put real products fully configured, so you can take those as a template, you can take those as a sample, right? So it gets our customers onboarded extremely quickly. So here we're saying, do you want to generate sample product images? I'll say yes. It might take a little bit of a minute. What's happening here? It's going into Midjourney and it's developing marketing images based on the brand information that I've given it, okay? So it should generate images in a second. This is where everybody goes, is it going to work? Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. So again, it'll refresh in a second. So you'll see it's now built some marketing and branding images specifically to that. And obviously you can change these, but this is essentially what it would do. We switched, going to do language. A lot of the MVNOs have multi-language, especially in the US. There's a big Spanish, English community there, so we can do multi-languages. Then it's going to start asking you, do you want eSIM? Definitely. Wouldn't want to launch an MVNO without one. Do you want me to create some inventory for you? Think MSICNs, phone numbers, things like that. I'll just say yes, of course. That's not going to be what you'd go live with, but what we're providing, or what we're aiming to do is to obviously help our MVNOs innovate and get to value quickly, is to give them the ability to have a working system from after the first conversation we've had. Again, same. Building an order pipeline. As I previously showed you very quickly in the customer journey, we have a preset of customer journeys, which are also AI enabled. And I won't get a chance to show you that, but I could show you later in the day. Don't want any users because I've got my own already. And then do I want a mobile app? Yes, I would like a mobile app. Would I like a self-care for branding and theming? Yes, I would. And do I want to resell any third-party services? I'm just going to say no for this. And here, it's going to ask me to confirm. So it'll give you an error message, but we'll see how it works out. So what's happening on this right side? So we've just configured MVNO Nation as an MVNO. We've given him the parameters for localization for the country. We've said that we want eSIM, some inventory, and some pre-configured ordering and handling workflows. We've created some products and services. We've managed to skin up a preview of what the mobile app looks like. You'll see Shine is the Amdocs branded MVNE, so that's why it shows the Shine MVNE logo. And essentially what's happening here is it's creating your MVNO. And when it finishes, hopefully it finishes soon, I'm going to quickly show you. I've got 2 minutes. I'll quickly show you. But it's running. It's probably just the Wi-Fi. So while it's running, you guys have any burning questions? Okay. So whilst it's running in the background, what you'll see. So what has it done? It's created those products and services for you. You're able to go on. You're able to modify. You're able to change those products and services. You're also able to select, if you don't like the names of the plans, you can also go in, you can also select AI to generate the names for you. It will then generate the names and also regenerate the images if you wish. Okay, so it's really, truly powered by AI. Very quick ETOM, or very quick ODA, whatever you refer to, which is good for you. Product offering is the commercial offer customer sees, product specifications, what the network needs in order to activate. And you'll see here that we've also created specifications as well. So these specifications are specifically for mobile plans. We know we need a SIM, eSIM, ICCID, MSISDN, they're all pre-configured for you. So the next stage is once you've got these things set up, is to actually launch the MVNO. If I just want to quickly show you something here, which is kind of cool. So we don't just automate the AI experience for setting up plans and setting up things for the customer. We also have enabled it for integration as well. So that's about getting quick to market, quick to integration. Again, that's because we have open interfaces. And one of the things we're looking to do and kind of improve, I'm just going to show you a few of these things. You see here, we've got multiple integration points. And these are actually networks that we are live connected to. Okay, so we have connectivity agreements with networks in the US. We are branching out. We have also one at MTN in Africa with our flagship customer Mobile. So essentially what you see here is the ability for an operator MVNO to get to value quickly without having that heavy investment, right? Because you can do most of the work yourself. Okay, you can turn on interfaces and agreements with pre-integrated partners, and that's kind of nice to see this. You'll see some of the people are on here also are pre-integrated partners. So that's kind of what I'm, would like to kind of show you is now having pre-integrated partners, having a collaborative space like what we have right now, and not expecting to build everything yourself. There's so much innovation happening in the AI space. It's difficult to keep up and to think that you could do it all yourself, right? I mean, that's the kind of, previous kind of Amdocs life, right? Amdocs does everything themselves. Now what we've done is switch to a partnership model, and I've got actual MVNO partners coming to me, software vendors saying, I will integrate, I will cover the cost of integration, plug me into your ecosystem. And I think that's where the value conversation's changed. Your MVNOs, and I can see I've spoken to 30, they bring partners to you to enhance and bring that value out. So just, very, very quickly, I'll just kind of summarize. I could show you more. I'm happy to show you more also in the rooms there, so you get to really get on. If you guys want to step on and play with it, also happy to get you guys onboarded. Give me an email address. I'll spin up a brand for you. You can go off. You can play with it. The only thing I would ask is you give us feedback, because we're building these tools for you guys so you can get to market quickly. You can create better experiences for your customer. And also you can really become more productive and focus in the areas like sales and marketing, which is how your business win. Okay? So that's kind of in probably 16 minutes, I was able to kind of give you, rather than showing you slides, visibility in how we're innovating and how we should pull together and innovate as a community. Okay? So, any questions?
Yeah? Okay.
Hello, Michel Zwijnenberg here from Melita. What I was wondering is, what are you actually doing here? Because I mean, a MVNO, if it's a full MVNO, of course, it's a big setup, right? With a core network and OSS, BSS, your app, self-care, SIM cards. What you're but also looking to marketing, your campaigns, etc. So what part of what needs to be done as MVNO are you doing? So that actually is not, yeah. I mean, I have a rough idea, but it's not clear.
So your channels, your mobile app, your self-care portal, all of those are already live created. So you would be able to go in and start modifying, dropping images, changing colors, all that stuff's already there. So the MVNO themselves can do that. It has, like I said, depending on which country we're in, pre-integration to network. So the fact that we've got live MVNOs already running, all of that knowledge and all of that thinking is already there, right? So if you think about like a connectivity, you're connecting to say one of your partners, like a mobile network, the pre-agreements and connectivity is already there. What you need to do is to think and focus on marketing and sales, okay? So what we provide for those as well as obviously insights, also some of our partners provide capabilities as well as soft skills too. So we also provide partners that also can bring you to market, as well as our own Amdocs services for marketing and branding. So essentially, think of it as like an umbrella where everything underneath it, maybe a white glove service. We're trying to get to a point where it's all under one roof. And it's not all under one roof of just Amdocs, it's under one roof with a partner ecosystem that is open, that anyone can integrate with. Okay, so to launch an MVNO, you obviously need a connectivity agreement. You need to order your SIMs, maybe you go eSIM, maybe it's a little bit easier. You need to think about your commerce, your devices. Do you want insurance? Do you want installments? All of that is under one umbrella now. Either via an Amdocs product, which is ConnectX, or via partner. Most of it, especially like insurance, device, all come from partner.
It's for B2C, right? Because I'm more in the IoT space, and then you also need a lot of things on VPNs,
Agreed.
IP numbering, security features. Is that also in here, or is it B2C?
So we support B2C, we support B2B2C, think MVNE, MVNO. IoT is a difficult space, okay? So we're still in the wheels of thinking about how to apply ourselves there. When you think about kind of the platform itself, Karim had mentioned, the MVNX, ATT, that's ConnectX, okay? So that's how we're presently now onboarding MVNOs with AT&T and also with some of our partner networks like MVNO Connect and things like that, yeah. So yeah, IoT is a difficult space. I'll be the first one to admit that.
That's the next one then, probably.
Maybe, I don't know. Cost margins of IoT are really super tough, right? But the cloud does enable us a good giant step to get there. But again, we are missing some capabilities, right? Because I said we're fail fast. This is a 2-year-old product, by the way. This is not an Amdocs product that we've hacked together. It's completely brand new, built from AWS, using their SaaS factory. It's going to be certified in the well-architected framework. We're already on the ODA certification steps. We're TM4 and compliant. And that's just helped us get rid of all the noise, right? All of the stuff that goes around that you have constant talks about. One of the things I would like to say, which is an advice which I can give to any of you, I don't mind sharing it, stop the back and forward. Just start developing. Right? That's what it's all about. If you look, you'll see reports that there are MVNOs, or actually CSPs rather, that talk for months, and then there's CSPs that just develop. Right? So within 3 months of conversation where you have a requirement list, you've got someone that already has live AI services running, and they're getting immediate customer feedback. So my point is just start. Stop the discussions, just get on, start as quick as you can, use all the tools that you have around you, make mistakes, have fun, but fail fast, right? So don't try and repeat those mistakes. And that's how we got to where we are today in 2 years.
Cool.
Any other questions?
Hi, a very interesting presentation. Thank you very much. But these things work in the United States, right?
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
This platform works in United States.
No,
right?
it's global. It's a global platform.
If SaaS, I'm from a country called Georgia. So if I want to create an MVNO, will I be able to use it or no?
Absolutely. No challenges. It's a SaaS-based solution. Do I have pre-connectivity to networks in Georgia? Probably not. That would be the integration work you would have to do.
So you have some pretty much work to do locally in Georgia in order for this to be working for MVNOs.
Yeah,
right?
there would be some work to do, but the base capabilities, the 90-plus pre-customer journeys for mobile app, for self-care, those things are there, right? They're just non-branded, right? You'd have to spend the effort to brand those things using some of the tools and techniques I'm showing you here. But primarily, you're right. You're going to have integration to network. You'll have to have integration, probably for things like, shipment, stuff like that. They're the type of partners that we would look to find to bring an on board. I'm sure these things already exist. It's about finding the right partners. If you want to become an MVNO in Georgia, you probably know some of these partners already. So what we would do is provide the system, provide open access to all of the APIs because they're in the public domain, as well as all those pre-configured journeys. And you could start essentially from the first conversation we would have. I want an NDA from you. Sorry, I'll have to ask. Yep. And then we could start that process. And that's what we want to do, get a frictionless process together where we collaborate, and as you bring partners, we potentially can reuse and share those partners to other, other organizations too.
Okay, but you are going to need to work with MNOs in Georgia, or it's us who are going to need to work with them? So you said that you're working with AT&T United States, right?
Yes, and T-Mobile and Verizon.
And you'll have to find a Georgian AT&T first, right?
Well, you need a network, right? So obviously we'd have to have that. And the question would be, is that relationship really reusable, right? Like what's the size and shape and scope of the market? Because essentially in the US, you're right, it's a big market. So there was investment to bring the networks online. Is there really that much of an investment in Georgia? You know, are you going to onboard multi-MVNOs? I spoke to 30 MVNOs this year. It's kind of crazy to speak to that many. We're onboarding 5 or 6 of them as we speak. So it's not a bad ratio. Some of them really don't think about, well, we're just going to go for price war, which I don't think that's going to win right now. I think it's all about niche, providing value, reaching in connection with customers. So I think if you have that, I think you have a chance of being successful.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Do we have any other questions? Okay.
I have a comment, but I don't mean it. Mark, I think he was asking whether Amdocs can help in facilitating the network.
Absolutely, absolutely. We work in complete partnership mode.
I think the best way to describe it is like a integration system. Also regarding in terms of this question is more like you get a platform that you can freely integrate by just having the right connections, and that's it. It's something that you can actually customize the way that you want it to work. And then if you have a way to kind of create new ventures, you can start building them in this platform and then venture out. But I think the best course of action is understanding what your needs are, and then depending on that, this could be a solution for you guys, or you can even create your own custom solution. But it depends also in capital. If you don't have the right capital, then you will have to start somewhere. And I do believe this is a really good platform. With all the integrations that they're actually adding, even I saw Zapier and other platforms as well. So that means that you can even automate using AI as well. What I would like to know is the AI integration. Can I create my own database that I can feed it?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So the way in which that would work is we have, because it's all AWS technology, we have access to AWS Q and AWS QuickSight. So it's an event-driven system. When an event happens, say you onboard a customer, an event notification can be sent to where you can pull that webhook straight into AWS QuickSight or AWS Q, the AI version. And you can start asking the questions. Can you tell me how many people I have that have this type of service and this type of location? And the AI will generate the reports for you just from written text. I don't know if you've ever seen it, it's pretty cool. And it gives you, again, that time to think and innovate rather than having just, I need to call IT, get a custom report. Those days are gone. You really are putting the power, like I said, think Formula One, you're not driving, you're sitting watching everything go by, you've got all the monitors, the dashboards, all the reports, to know how to make real-time instant decisions. And AI has brought us to that point, as well as public cloud. But one last comment. You mentioned before about partnerships, okay? And what I'd like to be kind of, and I'll give the floor back, one last remark. We don't sit in the middle, okay? I have partners, and I bring them to you. You sit with them, you negotiate with them. I'm not in the middle, okay? I'm not taking any margins, okay? What we want is a truly creative, innovative space, okay? And that's kind of what we try to build. And ConnectX is our way to get to that. Telco in a box, call it telco as a service, whatever you want to call it. And I think, that's, if you follow me on LinkedIn, you'll probably see why we've got a lot of wins. It's starting to take traction. And that's why I call out at the very beginning, your feedback, you're all experts. It's humbling to be in a room with so many experts, so many vendors. But I think what we have to do is pull together to innovate for the MVNOs, innovate for the MVNEs, so we really, truly become a community. I'm big in crypto, so I kind of, in a community feel, we should take the same approach. We should get together, we should standardize, we should focus on what our needs are, and really bring more value to keep the MVNOs, winning the game as they are right now. So that's kind of what I wanted to cover. If there's no more questions. Okay, great. Thank you, guys.